Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Today we are back with another video, and today I'm doing my NBA 2020 mock draft. Now, I did a lottery simulation before this. We're going to go through all 30 picks, and we'll start with the number one pick here. So with the number one pick, I have the Golden State Warriors, and I have them taking James Wiseman. Now, James Wiseman, a very good center. Obviously, he was suspended this year from playing with Memphis because of the scandal with getting paid and all that. But I still believe he is your number one pick. If the Warriors do end up getting the pick, obviously we don't know that yet, but I did in the lottery simulation they did. So we'll go with that. And the Warriors are set at all four other positions, so center makes the most sense. Then, at number 2, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I have the Cavs taking Anthony Edwards. Probably the best player in the draft, him or LaMelo. Wiseman might not be the number one overall player, but it's the Warriors' need. So I have Anthony Edwards going number 2. The Cavs need a forward. I mean, I know he's kind of more a shooting guard. He's only 6'4", but the Cavs already have Sexton at shooting guard. And they're already kind of going small anyway. Sorry, that's my that's my cat. But yeah, they're already kind of going small anyway, so it makes sense that they could take him and put him at small forward. Next, number 3, probably my favorite player in the draft. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves selecting Obi Toppin. Now, I love Dayton. I loved watching Obi Toppin play. I think he's a great fit for the Timberwolves. They have Cat and D'Lo at the point guard and center, and they also have Malik Beasley, shooting guard. I think he's fine there. And then they kind of need a forward, right? So Obi Toppin is definitely that. He can play either the 3 or the 4. They'll probably use him at the 4, but he can play the 3 too. Next, the number 4 pick, I have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Isaac Okoro. Now, this was an interesting one for me. The Hawks don't really need anything. I mean, I could have seen them going here with maybe like a LaMelo Ball and playing him at the 2. But I'm going to go with Isaac Okoro. I think he fits in what the Hawks are doing. They can't even use him at the 2. I know he's more of a 3. But DeAndre Hunter might not work out anyway. So I know they have Reddish. The Hawks really have just a huge logjam. But in all, I think Isaac Okoro would be the best pick for them, in my opinion. Next, number 5 pick. This is where I have LaMelo going. I have him going to the Detroit Pistons at number 5. Now, obviously, the Pistons need a point guard. That is probably what they'll draft. They need a lot, but I think point guard is the biggest need. I mean, they do have Derrick Rose, of course, but he's injury prone, and they're probably going to trade him. So LaMelo Ball, I believe, is the best pick here. Moving on to the number 6 pick, I have the New York Knicks, and they also badly needed a point guard, even though they have a ton, but none of them are that good. And the point guard I have them taking is Killian Hayes. Now, Killian Hayes is probably the second best guard in the draft, or point guard, sorry. And since LaMelo's gone, I think that the Knicks will jump on Killian Hayes. They need a new point guard. Ntilikina and Smith and all that, they aren't working out, so I think Killian Hayes goes here. And by the way, as the further we go down, I'll have less of an explanation, but for these top picks, I have pretty good knowledge. So with my number 7 pick, I have the Chicago Bulls taking Deni Avdija, a player who can pretty much do it all. He might be the next Luka Doncic, we don't know. But I have him going here. The Bulls need a forward. Otto Porter is not the best. They have Kobe White for the future. They obviously have Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, and Wendell Carter. Pretty young team, but Otto Porter is kind of the odd man out here. I think they need a new small forward, and Deni Avdija fits perfectly for the Bulls. I could also see Isaac Okoro going here if the Hawks don't take him, but I have Deni going here in my mock draft. Then, for the 8th pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets, and I have them selecting Onyeka Okongwu. Hornets definitely need a center. Onyeka Okongwu probably second best center after Wiseman in the draft. They have Cody Zeller and Biyombo and people like that, but they're not the best out there. Onyeka Okongwu is a pretty good center, and the Hornets probably should not pass up on taking him. Moving on to number 9, we have the Washington Wizards, and I think they will select Tyrese Halliburton. Now, the reason I think this is because he's more of a 2. I mean, if they keep Bradley Beal, they could play him at the 3, but if they do trade him, he's your next replacement for Bradley Beal. So I think Tyrese Halliburton is a good pick here for the Wizards. Moving on to number 10. I have the Phoenix Suns selecting Devin Vassell. Now, the Suns obviously have Booker. They kind of need a point guard here, but they also need a forward. So I'll go with Devin Vassell. I think he is a good fit for the Suns and what they're trying to do. They have Booker and Ayton, but the other three positions are kind of, up in the air. But I think Devin Vassell is the best pick here for the Suns. Next, number 11. Another team that's in need of a forward. I have the San Antonio Spurs selecting Precious Achiuwa here at number 11. Precious Achiuwa, pretty good player. Averaged 15 points per game. Did pretty well. And I think he fits in well with the Spurs. And they have DeRozan and Aldridge, but he kind of plays like center or whatever. And he's out for the year, actually, I believe. Anyway. Or this year, at least. Not next year. But I think Precious Achiuwa will fit in nicely with the Spurs. Coming in at number 12, we have the Sacramento Kings. And I have them selecting Aaron Nesmith. Now, the Kings are set at point guard. They're set at power forward, I'd say, with Bagley. Center, I don't know. But I have them taking a forward here because Harrison Barnes is not all that. Neither is Bogdanovich, really. These are decent players, don't get me wrong. But Aaron Nesmith, I think, fits well with the Kings. He could also play shooting guard. Buddy Hield might get traded, so Aaron Nesmith is my pick here for the Kings. Moving on to number 13, we have our, I believe, third point guard of the draft. Pelicans, I know they have Lonzo Ball. I know he's probably a fan favorite down there, but I don't think he is the real need for the Pelicans' success. Or they could move him or this man to the 2, and I have the Pelicans taking Cole Anthony. Definitely a top point guard in the draft. And at number 13, I think the Pelicans will be happy getting him here. Number 14, to end off the lottery, I have the Portland Trail Blazers. They need a forward badly, we all know this. And I have them going with it. They are going to take, in my opinion, Saddiq Bey. He can play the 3 or the 4. The Blazers need both. I mean, Melo, but he's a free agent, and I don't think you should re-sign him. I think it was just a nice one and done for Melo. Saddiq Bey, I believe, is the best pick here for the Blazers. So now, we exit the lottery. We'll go a little quicker now. Number 15, I have the Orlando Magic selecting Tyrese Maxey. My reasoning here is they might trade Evan Fournier. So if they do, Tyrese Maxey would be a good pick. They could also move Fournier to the 3, or Maxey's only 6'3". They could also play Maxey at the 1 if Fultz doesn't work out. So there's a lot of options for Tyrese Maxey. Number 16, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the clock for the second time, as this pick is via the Brooklyn Nets. And I have them selecting Josh Green, a pretty good shooting guard or forward. The Timberwolves are going to do well this draft. If they get Obi and Josh Green, they could play Obi at the 4, Josh Green at the 2 or 3, and they have Malik Beasley, of course. This Timberwolves team is going to have a good future. Number 17, we have my Boston Celtics on the clock. We need the thing we don't. The Celtics are pretty good. Obviously, we don't need much. But here at number 17, this is via the Grizzlies, by the way. I have us taking Patrick Williams out of Florida State. He's 6'8". He only averaged 9 points per game, but I think he could turn it up for the Celtics here. I think he's just the best pick possible. He could play the 3 or even the 4. The Celtics need a backup, just a good bench scorer. We didn't really have that this year, so I think Patrick Williams could help us out. Another Williams, though, to add to the Celtics, I just realized. All right, now number 18, we have the Dallas Mavericks, and their biggest need is point guard, and I have them taking one. I have the next best point guard here going. It is R.J. Hampton. They have Jalen Brunson, I know, and Luka kind of does everything, but I think Luka's better off the ball. I love Luka. He's my second favorite player in the league. Next is Tatum, at number 1. But R.J. Hampton, great point guard, great player. I think the Mavericks would love to have him. Coming in at number 19, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. This is via the Pacers. I have them taking Jaden McDaniels. The Bucks are pretty stacked, as we know. This is just a pick, you know. I mean, this is just for bench depth, really. Obviously, Giannis at the 4. You have Middleton at the 3. You don't really need this. You don't really need anything if you're the Bucks. This is just a good pick for bench depth. I know Ilyasova's older, so McDaniels could be a nice young bench piece. For the because we're getting into that point of the draft where you might not be taking a starter anymore. So number 20, this is via the Sixers. We have the Brooklyn Nets selecting Tyler Bay. Now, the Nets have Kyrie, they have Dinwiddie, they have KD. They have a lot of good players. This is another one that's more bench depth for the Nets, and I think Tyler Bay was the best pick here. Now, number 21, another kind of bench depth player because they have Jamal Murray. Although, I mean, this guy, him or Murray could move to the 2. We have Trey Jones going number 21 to the Nuggets. This pick is via Houston, by the way. So, yeah, I have Trey Jones, number 21, and another good point guard in the draft going off the board. Now, number 22, I have the Philadelphia 76ers. This is via the Thunder. A lot of picks getting traded down here. I have the Sixers taking Jahmi'us Ramsey. Now, this guy could actually be a starter because I know they have Josh Richardson at the 2. So this guy could play there and be the 2. And the Sixers, I think this is their biggest need, if any. So I think they'll take him. Now, number 23, we have the Miami Heat. And I think they will go with Xavier Tillman. The Heat need a forward, if anything. They have Jimmy Butler at the 2. They have none at the 1. The 3 is kind of up in the air for them. I mean, Duncan Robinson maybe, but I think Xavier Tillman fits in nicely with the Miami Heat. Now, number 24, I have the Utah Jazz, and I have them going with Kira Lewis. He's a point guard, which is, or kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure. He could be a 2 or 3. I'm not really sure. He's only 6'3", so we'll see about that. But the Jazz kind of need a point guard, so I think they'd play him there because Mike Conley did not have a great season. So I think that is the biggest need for the Jazz. Now we have the Oklahoma City Thunder at 25. This is via the Nuggets. And I have the Thunder going with a point guard. I have them going with Theo Maledon. This is even if they don't trade Chris Paul, I think it's just good to build for the future because they probably will trade Chris Paul some point, maybe not this year, but they're going to be trading him soon. Theo Maledon, best point guard available at this point. I have him going to the Thunder. Number 26, my Celtics are back on the clock. We have 3 first-round picks. This one's basically just bench depth. Once again, we kind of need a forward. Isaiah Stewart, I think he played center, but he's only 6'9". He would not be a center in this league. So I have the Celtics taking Isaiah Stewart at 26. Number 27, I have the New York Knicks on the clock via the Clippers. And I have the Knicks taking Jalen Smith. Now, obviously, the Knicks already took Killian Hayes. So with their second pick, I think they could use a good forward. Kevin Knox ain't that. I mean, this guy's 6'10", though, so he'll probably be playing the 4. Julius Randle, I think the Knicks should trade him, or he'll leave in free agency, either one. So Jalen Smith, I think, is a good fit here for the Knicks. Number 28, we have 3 picks left. I don't know much about this guy, but I put him down here from Minnesota. We have the Toronto Raptors at 28. I have them taking Daniel Oturu. Now, the reason I have them taking him, I know they have Siakam at the 4, but this guy could play at the center. I mean, he is 6'10", might be a little short. He could play the 3 even, I don't know. But I like this guy. I don't know if many people are talking about him, but he averaged 20 and 11 for Minnesota. So I just like the fit here with the Raptors. I think he will go number 28. 2 picks left. Number 29, another point guard off the clock here at number 29 of the Lakers, selecting Cassius Winston. Obviously, Lakers kind of need a point guard. They have Rondo, obviously LeBron, kind of, but they don't really want him there. Cassius Winston, I think, is your best pick here. And the final pick of the draft, my Celtics are on the clock again. This is basically just a pick, for bench depth via the Bucks. I have the Celtics taking Nico Mannion, one of the better players available here. It's mostly just best available. Backup point guard could be a help for the Celtics. I know Brad Wanamaker's not the greatest, so Nico Mannion could do well here. So, thank you guys for watching. This video will make it near 15 minutes. That's my mock draft. Comment down below if you'd like to see a second round. I don't know if many people would, but that is my mock draft for the 2020 NBA Draft. You can put your thoughts down below. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.